It's day 21 of the Grotmas calendar. I am back. I am Shazo Chef, and I'm bringing up all of my alien auxiliary friends in this T'au detachment, because that's what we needed, was another Kroot detachment, everyone. Yeah. Okay, it's actually got some teeth, to be fair, and if you're not wanting to run all Kroot, it gives you a nice alternative. And I like the fact that they are leaning into the auxiliaries a bit more. I just wish we had more auxiliaries to play with. Give me my psychic polar bears. But as it is, with this auxiliary cadre, you get integrated command structure, which gives you two rules effectively. For your Vespid and your Kroot, you get targeting triangulation. It's a 9-inch aura, but you do have to be visible as well to the enemy unit in question. But whilst an enemy unit is within 9 inches, all of your other non-auxiliary and non-titanic T'au units get +1 AP against it. Now that is a spicy meatball. +1 AP, as we know in an era where shooting is already pretty decent, is very powerful. The second part of it to help your auxiliaries get there is that your non-auxiliary stuff, so all of your other T'au stuff, get a 6-inch aura, which gives the Kroot and the Vespid units wholly within 6 of them, so it stops you stringing out, and you get the mini lone ops. You can't be targeted whilst they're 18 inches away. This is great for turn 1. From turn 2, it's probably basically null and void. And again, kind of defeats the point. So it's two rules that are contradictory, because you want the Kroot to get up there, but you want them to not die so they can get there, so they've got to be close to T'au. Is this it? I don't know, the AP is very powerful, but it's a really tough one to do, because for every unit of Kroot that you're using in your T'au army to get the T'au army to get a rule is losing out on firepower that the T'au would bring by themselves. It's such a fine balance that I don't know where it becomes worth it, and that's a problem. The amount of math thinking that you have to do makes this a really tough one to sell. I like it principally. I don't know if I like it practically. But let's talk enhancements. So first up, you have Student of Kalyon, which is for a shaper only, sure. You pick 3 units of carnivores or fast stalkers, and you give them deep strike. Now, that's really good. Next up, we have Admired Leader for a non-Kroot model, so anyone else. And you can pick a Kroot or Vespid unit within 12 inches, and you give them +1 leadership and +1 OC as long as they're not battle shot. It's cute, it's nice. I don't know if it's worth 20 points, but I mean, if nothing else is taking your fancy and you've got a load of Kroot, go for it. We then have Fanatical Convert, which is 10 points for a Kroot Shaper. Well, any Kroot model actually, so this is quite nice on the Lone Spears because they've got the Lone Op, and they get for the greater good. So they can act as a spotter. That's quite nice, because then actually that sacrificial unit that you've sent up into the middle of the board to provide a nice 9-inch bubble of visible aura to +1 AP can guide for one of your units as well whilst you're there. So you're not losing as much of the impact, because that was one thing that I didn't touch on. In addition to the whole, you've got to give up firepower, you've got to give up spotters. So the balance of this detachment is really tricky. This helps alleviate that somewhat. The final enhancement is actually really good. Transponder lock module. It's expensive at 25 points. It's for a walker only, so read that as a commander. They can arrive turn 1. Ooh, well, that's nice. They do have to be within 12 inches of a Kroot or Vespid unit and still 9 inches away from enemy units. But that's really good, because you've probably scouted or have infiltrating Farstalkers. That's nice. If you're going to lean into it, lean into it. Take the stuff that's going to enable you to benefit from it and deep strike turn 1 with Sunforge or Star Scythes and protect your poor flimsy auxiliaries. Stratagem-wise, we kick off with experimental modifications, which gives you +1 AP for a Kroot or Vespid unit in your shooting or fight phase. It's nice. I mean, +1 AP on Kroot rifles ain't exciting. +1 AP on Kroot rampages in combat is exciting. +1 AP on Vespid is fun. We then have multisensory scanning, which is again in the shooting or fight phase, and it gives a T'au Empire unit reroll 1s to wound, or reroll everything if they're a Vespid or Kroot. Again, on a unit of rampages, that's quite cool. Predominantly, that's good for, you know, your actual shooting T'au units. Counter argument, take some stealth suits. Next up, we have interlocking maneuvers, which is done at the end of the fight phase, so any fight phase is for any T'au Empire unit. If you fought that phase, you get to fall back or make a normal move of up to 6 if you're not in engagement range. Amazing. This is what I like. Then we have pheromone waypoints, which Sure, gross, which gives Kroot or Vespid an auto advance 6. Now on paper that doesn't sound amazing, but actually if that's the difference between guaranteeing you get your aura in range for the +1 AP, worth spending the CP if that can enable you to spread out that horrible, horrible debuff, because it is a very good buff. Then we have Alien Expertise. This gives you advance and shoot, so kind of assault. If you're Kroot or Vespid, you can charge as well. Yeah, look, I mean, it's good. You could just be taking a Cold Start command. You could just be running Monkar. But if you're not, it's very useful to have advance and shoot with a T'au unit. Finally, we have Guided Fire for another CP. So you can do this on any non-auxiliary unit, and you get +1 strength to your shooting attacks, which is good. If you're wholly within 9 of a Kroot or Vespid unit when you do so, you get +2 instead. Now, if you can set this up so that you've got the CP in the bank, so you can be like, I've got +2 strength and +1 AP, and I'm guided, and then I'm going to use the other CP for the reroll 1s. Like, you could just delete whatever you look at. I mean, you could just run Retaliation Cadre and get that built in on your Crisis Suits, but it's nice to have on, like, you know, your broadsides and your hammerheads that are going to be sitting at the back. Or, if you're feeling particularly horrible, Strength 8 Breaches. So that's the detachment. Look, I can see the power in it. +1 AP can never be discounted. It's amazing. The hoops you have to jump through to get to it make it tricky. If you start losing those auxiliaries, you're losing the detachment rule, which just sucks. T'au already kind of have that inherent issue of not really having detachment. They've got to jump through a lot of hoops for their detachment rules, unless ironically you're just running Hunting Pack. But if you're running that kind of a list, you're not going to even give this a look in because you want to run Kroot Jail, quite frankly. I can see the power in it. It's not necessarily for me. For someone like myself or Bard who are into the more T'au side of things, nah, I'll be sticking with Monkar because I like that playstyle. For someone like Fletch, this would be quite nice for him because Fletch doesn't like you having an armor save. He likes having lots of AP. And he also likes to run the Kroot. He will be probably working on some Kroot in the future. So we can't run this attachment just yet, but in the near future, we will absolutely endeavor to do so. But how do you feel about it? Are you looking forward to running Kroot and T'au and Vespid working together as one and denying your opponent as much armor saves as possible? There's some nifty tricks in here. I'm interested to try it out. As I say, you let me know whether you're looking forward to it or if you would have preferred something else. I was kind of hoping for a stealth detachment. Bard was, of course, hoping for a combat detachment. We're all hoping for combat T'au at some point in our lives. Admit it to yourselves. Embrace the combat T'au. But you let me know down below. Whilst you're there, you hit like, you hit subscribe, you hit the notification button so you do not miss a single one of these detachments as they come out. There's not many left to go, but we don't want you to miss any of them. We'll see you in the next one.
Enjoying today's video? Here's a quick look at what we've released this week for our on-demand members. These videos join a huge library of exclusive content that grows every week for our on-demand community. If you want instant access to all of these videos and more, head over to table.tactics.tv or download our app and sign up today. And currently, we have an introductory offer for new customers, so there's never been a better time to join on demand.